So this is what a PlayStation 1 collection should look like, whether you are collecting those type of games, role play games, adventure games, beat 'em ups and stuff like that. This is what we tend to find when we are, finding, our old retro console, the PlayStation 1. And we turn to these games because obviously we've played them in the past, in the 90s and stuff like that. When we come into the new generation and stuff like that, 2019, these are games which we can kind of look back on and think, we've found the PS1, we've cleaned it up, we're actually finding our old PlayStation 2 consoles which fit, those original ports on this console right here. And as we go through these, we can see stuff that we kind of played when we were growing up, with our brothers as well. And, one of my best mates used to also play quite a lot of the PlayStation 1 titles. So I wasn't on my own because I had the PlayStation 1, I had the PlayStation 2, and then so on. We found ways to actually, save some money up and buy, the PS3 and PS4. So at the moment we're just using just these normal controllers. These are the PlayStation 2 ones, which, as you know, uses a normal standard, PlayStation 1 memory card, and we was having, a bit of a problem with this, just saving the games. So each time we would pop in, Metal Gear Solid, and try and save that particular level, it just wasn't, recognizing the memory card. Now that we've got rid of the dust inside the memory card, it seems like it's actually reading again. So yeah, we're using the controllers right here, and then this is just our normal power lead and AV lead, which goes from the console into this fantastic, Samsung 37-inch TV. So this is what I tend to watch, when I'm going on, the PS4 or the Wii U or the LG Blu-ray player. I've got my Connect sensor for the Xbox 360. That is actually under here on one of the shelves. It's not on this shelf. It's on this next to the Wii U. And then we've got our Nintendo Wii consoles as well. So on to why we got back into the PlayStation 1. Well, it was just, helping my dad and stuff like that, getting rid of some rubbish that needed to be thrown away in the attic. And all of a sudden, this popped up in his hands, which was the Sony PlayStation 1. And as you know, we did a recent video on this where it just didn't look, like it was in very good condition. So it just needed a very good, clean and stuff like that. And we managed to get rid of all those little sticky patches and stuff like that, because it was all sticky around here and dust was getting inside the console. So once it had been cleaned up, we managed to actually, play the games like we used to play them back in the day in the 90s, when you're a kid and stuff like that, and you got your brothers and your sisters potentially into the same games that you're into. And we found ways of actually saving these games again, which was fantastic because the memory card, as you know, doesn't recognize that particular game, because just think about it, that has been in the attic all these years and it just needed cleaning up. So yeah, we're just using the PlayStation 2 controllers because it uses two controller ports for the Sony PlayStation 1. Fantastic console, which just needed, renovating and sorting out, a bit. So yeah, it's already plugged into one of the SCART leads at the bottom into one of the plugs here, which is going from that console to this extension lead. So when I power this on tonight, I'll have the recent game which I've already saved on Mission Impossible. So on to the games now. Enough of me going on and on and on about, the PlayStation 1. I mean, you can sit here for hours and hours and, listen to me talking about the console. But where you really want to be is right here on the Chriswiiu2013 channel, looking at some fantastic pickups for Monday, which is obviously going to be the Sony PlayStation 1 games and stuff. So when we come to this channel already, you want to be obviously subscribing straight away to this channel, and a lot of it is to do with the retro stuff that we're picking up. So on to the PlayStation 1 games first of all, and we can see we've got, from the very top half of this gaming collection to the very bottom, we can see stuff that we've played in the past, like Xena Warrior Princess, and I've saved my current game on the PlayStation 3. And the PlayStation 3 doesn't need any memory cards because that's already on the system, so you just save that game. If you're having trouble with the console and it crashes or freezes, then you got to reset it again. So I was having that issue as well. I don't have any issues with the PlayStation 1, it's just the PlayStation 3. So a lot of the times when we were playing these games, me and my brother, I mean, you could subscribe to him straight away. It's Jiraiya FPV, and my channel is Chriswiiu2013. My brother does quite a lot of videos, where he's flying his drone and stuff like that, and he's got a great, gaming channel as well, where he featured me on there, so that was good. So we got Xena Warrior Princess. We've also got a game which I used to play with my friend a very long time ago when I was at college. He used to pop over mine and we used to just, try and get through this on the PlayStation 1, which was Tomorrow Never Dies. On to a game which we are getting back into, which is Mission Impossible. And you know why they call it Mission Impossible? Because every level is impossible when you're playing as Ethan. So your job is to complete the level before the time runs out. So on this, I don't know how many levels there were because I only got up to like episode, one of the missions anyway. I think it was mission 5. So, as you know, the game is in our PlayStation 1 console, but you can look inside the case and you can see you've got your manual there and the back. So this is the front of the case and the back, which has got all the levels on there. Another fantastic game, which my dad loves playing. I mean, he's not played these games for a very long time because he's been very busy with stuff. Is Army Men Operation Meltdown. So we used to go on the car boot, but we don't do it that often now. But we would find, all the Army Men games and stuff like that. We have 2 copies of this game now, and I was like, well, we've already got it. Why do we need it again? So I think we got that, really cheap. So back in the day, we would go to like Tesco, and I think there was another place as well which we used to get the games back in the 90s. So I was finding all these games which we currently owned, which I was finding, on the market, and I was like, I really want to get that game. And I used to go to Game World in Leicester, but that's not there anymore. So, yeah, I think probably try CEX next time when I'm in town. So, yeah, look out for some new games, actually. Probably for the PS4 or PS1. So we got Army Men Operation Meltdown. We've also got a game which everyone would love to own, which they probably will do at some time, is Metal Gear Solid 1, which was produced by Konami. And Konami was very popular for making the Metal Gear Solid franchise, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3 and 4. Some came out later on after this one on the PlayStation 2, which was Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. Now, number 3 was Snake Eater. So this kind of picked up after Metal Gear Solid 1, and they revamped that also with Metal Gear Solid 2, but they put it on a different system, which was also the PlayStation 2. This came with a booklet, which you can get. So they're probably, really easy to find. But yeah, we got Metal Gear Solid, disc 1 there. And I got this one at Loros. It was in the office and I thought, well, I'm not going to let this go, So I picked it up, found it, and I thought, you know what, let's just get it. So we got Metal Gear Solid, disc 2 of 2. And this is what Metal Gear Solid looks like at the back. So, yeah, you get the Metal Gear Solid special missions with it. It's a one-player game and it uses 4 blocks on your memory card. I normally can get used to actually using, the PlayStation 2 controller. But what I find really difficult is just using the D-pad. I mean, I don't know how everybody feels about, the controls and stuff like that. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's better using the D-pad or the analog sticks? So on to our beat-em-ups now, and we've got Tekken 2, which was a pre-owned game, and this was the original price, $14.99, and it came into Loros where I work, and decided, well, we've got some PS1 games coming in, let's try and add to that collection. So I did. We've got, well, this is not in the PlayStation 1 collection, but we thought, anyway, we'll add it in there, because it is in a different collection, which is the Nintendo DS, and this is Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. So this is from the movie, this is, and they turned it into a game. So one of the scariest games, when this came out on release, was on the Sony PlayStation 1, and this was Resident Evil, which, as you know, Resident Evil is a survival horror game, which picks up in the very first mission, where you enter in the mansion with Jill Valentine and Barry Burton, and Chris Redfield as well. Not to forget him as well, because he is a character which is included within those 2 games. We've got Ridge Racer Type 4, which I've now got the game and the booklet for this. So my brother, obviously, when he sold his PlayStation 1, I've asked him, on Wednesday whether he's going to get a PlayStation 1, and he said he might do, because he's got a PS2, PS3 and PS4, Dreamcast, and I think he's still got his Wii as well. So yeah, it'd be good to actually take some games around and play these ones with him as well, and just kind of remember the games that we used to play growing up. So we got that. We got also Tekken 1. We've got SmackDown 2, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is not a very perfect game, but in my opinion, I think Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 was the better beat-em-ups. We've got Dino Crisis, which is created by the same creators of the Resident Evil series, and this time you're not fighting zombies, you are fighting dinosaurs, because obviously it is Dino Crisis. And I used to find this game really difficult, you know, finding all the other items like the keys and stuff to unlock the doors. We got Tomb Raider, which everyone's got to own in any collection on the PlayStation 1. So we got that one, featuring Lara Croft. We got Tenchu, Stealth Assassins, which my brother is very quick at getting through this. You know, if he's playing a game like Tenchu, he'll get through that one and get through like Metal Gear Solid and Soul Blade and stuff like that. He's even really good, you know, on the Sonic games on the Mega Drive. So this is an 18, but you know, we're over that age now, and we can play these games, so we don't have to worry about it. We've got Cool Borders 3, which we've got Cool Borders 1 and the third one also. So I'll drag those ones out in part 2 very soon. We got Tekken 3, another beat 'em up, which we looked at Tekken 1 also right here. Tekken 2, which I'm going to try and find again. Should be, yeah, Tekken 2 and Tekken 3. Now, when I used to be at college, we used to have 2 PlayStation 1 consoles, and I said to my brother, could I, you know, borrow a game? And he said, yeah, of course you can, but just make sure that you bring it back to me, because I don't want you to leave it behind. So I didn't do that. I brought it back and said, you know, here's the games, obviously, which he wanted back, and I gave him back, you know, Soul Blade, which was one of his favourite games and one of his favourite beat 'em up. Sorry, try and get my words out. But you know, we've done all right, haven't we? We tried to explain, you know, the video as we've gone along. So we've got Soul Blade. Now this is actually called something else in America called Soul Edge, but in the UK they've called it Soul Blade. So this is a good beat 'em up. It's got the arcade mode. It's got survival mode as well. I'm really good on survival mode because I can kind of, you know, pick my opponents up. So we got actual Golf 2, and the last game in the collection is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So while we move on to the games, let's check out the games room in its glorious fashion. So this is the games room. With our PlayStation 3 titles at the top, along with our Blu-rays. I was going to include some more games at the top, but you know, this is where I spend most of my time, in the games room, just watching, you know, Blu-rays, wrestling stuff, movies, other type of TV shows that I can normally, you know, get around to watching. Well, anyway, this is the end of that video, and I'll join you for part 2 very soon on also the Chriswiiu2013 channel on YouTube. Let's just go through those games again. So we've got Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We've got actual Golf 2. We've got Soul Blade, Tekken 3, Cool Borders 3, Tenchu Stealth Assassins, Tomb Raider, Peter Jackson's King Kong, Dino Crisis, Ridge Racer Type 4, Resident Evil 1, Metal Gear Solid 1, Tekken 2, Xena Warrior Princess, Tekken 1, Army Men Operation Meltdown, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, SmackDown 2, Mission Impossible, and 007 Tomorrow Never Dies.